Well, my name is Jason J. Rock Houston, and tonight we're speaking with lead singer Brett Blackout Scott from a band Vanlade, and you guys are based out of Kansas City. Is that correct, Brett?
Yep, Kansas City, Kansas.
Now, when most people think of Kansas, they think of a Wizard of Oz. That's one of the first things. So I got to ask you right off the bat, what's the metal scene like there these days?
There's not a whole lot to speak of, honestly, but we've got kind of a tight-knit group of friends in the city and in kind of throughout the Midwest. There's bands scattered around here and there. So, all in all, it's kind of a tight circle, and it's a lot of fun.
And so have you guys pretty much just played locally, or have you played all around the U.S.?
So far, we've done kind of regionally. We're planning on doing a West Coast thing this summer.
Oh, cool.
No date specified yet.
Yeah.
Once we release this album, we'll probably start trying to head out a little bit more.
And so
we've done Midwest things several times.
Okay, and could you share with us what year the band was formed and how you guys all hooked up?
Yeah, the band formed actually, and we were in high school. I was just a friend with the band originally. It was probably like 2006.
Okay.
And it was kind of just a jam band between all our friends, kind of trying to do some old school melodic kind of metal that just really isn't happening too much anymore. I joined probably 2009, and then that's when we kind of picked up, started planning on recording our album Iron Age, which came out 2012.
Okay.
Started playing shows more regionally and everything like that. And really we've just been going strong since then.
And I got
to release our second album, Rage of the Gods.
Okay.
When I can get finished on that, we're working on mixing and then just mastering, and we're ready to go.
Oh, cool, because I like all kinds of music myself, but you guys definitely do not sound like melodic rock. In fact, when I listen to the tunes you guys have up on your webpage, I kind of get a feeling like of a bit of a classic Maiden vibe.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
That's the highest compliment, I think.
And so, were those guys big heroes of yours growing up?
Yeah, absolutely. They were probably the first metal band that I got into.
Yeah.
It was actually Nick, our bass player, in middle school, probably showed me Iron Maiden, and I was like, oh wow, I do like this.
Yeah. And interesting thing about Iron Maiden, a lot of people initially get into them because of not necessarily even the music, just because of the album art and the Eddie mascot, and a lot of people pick up albums that are like.
Iron Maiden was well done and big.
And it's
just one of the untouchable kind of bands.
And the cool thing about that is, when people pick up albums, they're like, "Oh, wow, that's great music too,"
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So talented.
And so, how did you guys go from kind of doing the melodic rock thing to what you are now?
Well, I mean, it's always been kind of the same classic style.
Yeah.
By melodic, I mean, not so much the breakdowns and screaming vocals that.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because
dominate the metal scene.
When I think melodic, I kind of think of more like radio-oriented stuff. But
Yeah. I mean, more.
I hear.
More Iron Maiden, I suppose.
And talk about the new album you have that you guys are putting the finishing touches on, Rage of the Gods. Tell us a little bit about, do you have a release date or anything set for it yet, or?
No release date yet. We're still, that's kind of up in the air. We're trying to decide whether we want to go through like a distribution label or if we want to just release it independently.
Now,
which is a perfectly valid option. It's just a little more organization on our end that we have to get done before we know.
Yeah, because I mean, you guys obviously with your first album kind of went that route, but like you're saying, I can kind of see both sides. Whereas, if you have a label behind you, there's maybe a little more, funding in that for touring purposes and stuff, and to help promote the album. But then, again, if you guys put it out yourself, you guys got to put a little more money out there to get everything, all the CDs and that pressed. But at the same time, you don't have a guy in a suit, in an office telling you, yeah, I don't hear a single. Go back and write me something. It's a little more commercial, and you guys have a little more control.
The labels we've dealt with so far have been kind of more independent, like fans of music trying to help us out and helping us get our music out. So it's been it's really just up to, do we want to do all the legwork ourselves, or do we want to give that to,
And so let me ask you, if you
relinquish a little bit of our, profit from that.
Yeah, let me ask you, on that note, have you been shopping the tape around, kind of to see what kind of feedback you guys get from various labels?
I've sent it to a handful, but I'm still waiting on a reply for a lot. We've had a couple different offers. I don't want to say anything yet.
I hear you.
Specific.
Yeah.
But we've had some offers, and we're trying to weigh our options, and again, we're trying to see if is it worth it to do it, completely out of pocket. We've already come this far out of pocket. All the production, artwork, layout, everything has been out of pocket. So I mean, it's just that one extra step, and we have to kind of. It would be our first time doing anything like that. Distributing ourselves. So we'd have to kind of learn it and feel it as we go. It really just, Sorry?
I was going to ask you. So, a lot of bands are just releasing stuff digitally now, but you guys still, I guess, want to make your music available like on CDs and that, and actually have physical copies for your fans.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think you got to have a physical copy. I mean, you can go, digital all the way if you want to, but I just love having something to hold and have something to give away at shows.
I like to hear that, because I'm kind of an old school guy myself. I mean, I hope the CD never really totally dies out, because like you're saying, I used to love going, every Tuesday to the local record store. What's a record store these days? But and checking out all the new releases, checking out the artwork, and getting the CD home. And
I think they're, I don't know. I'm proud of my CD collection and things like that. But I do think they are kind of going that way. I recently I bought a computer, and I was out laptop shopping, and none of the newer ones had CD ports, and I was like, what?
Wow, yeah.
What's going on? How do you even
do that? Yeah.
Like, what do you do with this?
And you have the interesting thing.
I just ended up getting an external CD drive thing, but
and you have an interesting thing about that is like you're saying, even while you might not be able to find the latest Vanlade CD at the local Target or anything. I think for people that are I think for people that are a fan of the band, if they want the music that bad, they'll go on Amazon, or they'll even buy it through your personal website or whatever they got to do. I think it's all about fans supporting the music and their band.
All over the place, and that's just good to have something at a show when someone comes up and they're like, hey, that was great. Can I buy your CD? What am I going to say? No, fine.
And so are you guys pretty known? Like, I would imagine around Kansas, you're pretty well known among your loyal fan base there. But what's it like when you go, outside of Kansas? What kind of response do you guys get?
Honestly, we've had better responses out of town.
Oh, okay.
I think it's just I don't know. I mean, like I said, there's a good tight knit kind of crowd here in town, but for the most part, it's already it's the same people coming to every show. Out of town, it's kind of a fresher experience, and for instance, like in Chicago, we've always had a really, really great time and a really great crowd.
Well, okay.
And we're hoping we can carry that on to our next tour as well.
Interesting. And I got obviously the name of Vanlade. I see you guys, like Van Halen named the band after the guitar player. It's a cool sounding name, though, I gotta say. And I love the logo. I mean, did somebody in the band design the logo, or did you have a professional artist do that for you guys?
Actually, Zach designed the logo. I think he chopped up the Guitar Hero logo or something like that.
Okay.
Kind of MS painted it. But don't tell anybody. He actually named himself after the band.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, wow. Yeah, because Vanlade, I was like,
you can tell everyone I'm telling it to you on the radio.
Yeah, that's kind of funny, because Vanlade, I thought, what's Vanlade? And then I said, okay, it's the guitar player's name, and I still think it doesn't sound like a Van Halen or a Van something else.
It's kind of
original.
It's kind of a catchy name, and he's been sort of the artistic direction of the band and everything like that. So we all kind of picked stage names. Of course, it's kind of hard to keep stage names in the internet age with everyone.
Yeah, I was going to ask you.
On Facebook.
Yeah, I was going to ask you on that note. your nickname, I guess, Brett Blackout Scott. How did you get a nickname Blackout? You just kind of tag yourself, or somebody else give that to you?
It just, I don't remember. We came up with it one day, and it just kind of stuck. And I think when we were putting together the liner notes for Iron Age, we were like, all right, are we doing these names?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, when you guys do your shows, like on that note, do you guys do like a real like you real image conscious band, or you guys just play pretty much in your jeans and t-shirts? Like, do you get into character? You know what I mean? Like some of these bands do.
I have like the studded armbands, and I've got this. My girlfriend bought me last Christmas this white fringe leather jacket that I wear. So I mean, we kind of it's more
metal.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Just kind of metal garb. Okay. It's not so much like sweatpants and gym shirt. It's.
I got you. I mean, kind of what you'd expect at a Maiden or Priest to wear, yeah.
We really like to put on sort of the best production we can, and image is a big part of that. We've got what we can afford right now. We've got like fog machines and
cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's all about the show, and having the tunes, which you guys, from what I can hear, seem to. Now, talking about your new album, Rage of the Gods, if you guys got all the songs pretty much recorded, you're just like you said, finishing up the final mixing.
Yeah, exactly. We were in just last Friday mixing. It's probably just going to be a couple more mixing sessions, and then we're ready to. We've already got our mastering guy set up and organized. He's in the band Death Dealer. His name's Stu Marshall.
Oh, yes.
Australia.
Oh, yeah. I've actually interviewed him, but he's a pretty cool guy, yeah.
Yeah.
He's in Death Dealer, too.
Really cool guy. He's done some pretty great stuff, and his band is pretty kick-ass, so we're excited about that.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, it's just, we're on our final stretch here. Just trying to organize the release and everything like that.
And is it going to be like a lot of these bands are putting out like a 4 or 5 track EP, or is it going to be a full-length album?
It's a full-length album. I think it's just about an hour long.
Okay.
10 tracks.
That's just enough to feed my appetite as far as putting a new CD on. I would like having like at least 10 or 11 tracks. Something to play in the.
Yeah, we like to get your bang for your buck.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Now, as far as recording the album, I was curious. Do you guys record it like the modern way, like most bands, where everybody kind of records their parts separately, or you actually record like a live band where everybody's in the same room together?
We do it. We do it separately.
Okay.
We laid down like scratch tracks and everything like that live as a band for the most part, and then we kind of over-tracked digitally. It's all, pretty modern recording techniques.
Okay, and on this latest album, like when you guys went in the studio to start recording, did you have pretty much all the tracks written as far as the songwriting, or did you kind of write the tunes as you were recording?
We came in pretty well prepared. I think there was one song that we kind of needed. There were probably 1 or 2 songs that we needed to put the finishing touches on, and there were a few that I hadn't finished finalized lyrics for, but most of these songs we've been playing and practicing for a good year or 2.
And being that you're the singer,
really since our last album came out, we started writing, and we've just been,
collecting the tunes as you go. Okay, and being that you're the singer, Brett, are you the guy that pretty much is the primary songwriter as far as the lyrics and that, or does everybody contribute to the songwriting?
As far as songwriting, I'd say 90% of it is Zach, our guitar player, Zach Vanlade. He pretty much brings the songs, and we will add riffs or ideas or structure from that. As far as vocal melodies and the lyrics and everything, that's all me.
And so, like, typically does a song start, I guess you're saying, like, he'll bring in a riff or, an idea for a jam, and the band kind of works off of that. Did you ever come in, like, with a lyric idea and say, hey, I got an idea for a song, guys? Or so it usually starts with a riff.
90% of the time it'll start with a riff. It's happened a handful of times where I'll have, like, a chorus idea or, Um, yeah, so most of the time it starts with the guitar.
And so,
we're a guitar-centric band.
And so as far as the guitar parts, how do Zach and Vinny go about splitting up the guitar parts? Is one primarily the lead player? Is that how you guys do it?
It's pretty well divided, actually. Each of them solos probably an equal amount. As far as recording, I think Zach recorded most of the leads.
Okay. And did you guys produce the album yourself, or did you work with an outside producer?
We're working with Rob Rebeck out at Chapman Studios.
Okay.
He did, I don't know if you ever listened to Origin, the death metal band. They're from Kansas as well.
Oh, I know. I have to check them out. Okay.
And has had some pretty good success with that. But, yeah, we're working with him kind of side by side to produce it.
And how did you guys hook up with him? Just, did he come to you, or was he somebody you guys had been referred to? CC actually hooked us up with him. Now he's our ex-drummer. Okay.
I'm not sure how he got in touch with him or anything. I think he just booked time at Chapman and requested Rob, and we've kind of developed a good relationship with him, and it worked out really well. He did the drums and bass on our first album, Iron Age.
Okay.
So
there's a history there already. Yeah.
The time there, and we decided to really go all the way this time and go back to Chapman.
Now, as far as his role, as far as a producer, is he kind of the one that has the ultimate decision as far as if the track, a particular track makes it on the album, or does he kind of have a final say, or on that, or how does that work?
No, for the most part in the studio, it will be Zach and I calling the shots, and he's there, and we're always accepting of his input and everything like that, because he's a really professional dude when it comes to music and everything. So I mean, he's there, but as far as the music goes, it's for the most part us doing it.
And so you, as far as you saying, you and Zach are in there, kind of the guys running the show, so to speak. When you guys are in there recording and you're writing the tunes, is there a preconceived notion, idea in your mind of, okay, this song has a Vanlade, the classic Vanlade sound, or are there any set rules, or do you ever try to go outside the box?
On this album, there's a handful of songs that kind of are more outside the box, and Iron Age was sort of and I don't mean this in a bad way, but it was kind of a one-speed, album, while this one's kind of more of a roller coaster, and it's a little more dynamic and fresh sounding, I think, and a little more unique. But this one's got, in the fast parts, it's much, much faster. In the melodic parts, it's much, much more melodic. There's a couple slow kind of, foot stomping parts, and there's some really kind of dark, almost like thrash metal kind of parts in it.
So it sounds like there's, quite the progression on this album. Do you have any fears that, how the fan base is going to react, or do you think they'll be equally pleased with the new music?
I think this album is heads and tails above anything we've done before, so I think it'll do just fine. I don't have any concerns about that.
And as far as the new material, the album's not out yet, obviously, but have you guys been playing any of the new tunes at your shows recently? Or are you going to wait till the album comes?
Yeah. We've played the songs since probably just after Iron Age came out. We started writing these, and we've had a handful of tracks done for a long, long time. For instance, Frozen for All Time, Jaws of Life, Hellraiser. Those are all ones we've been playing for probably a good year and a half.
And so what's that like when you guys are playing these, new tunes, for the first time, and, a lot of the fans obviously aren't as aware of material you're playing off the first album. Is that kind of a way to, feed what people think, or you get an idea of what people think of a tune, or...
Yeah, it's always a good way to gauge reactions and everything like that.
And how hard is it for you guys, once this new album drops, you're obviously going to have to change the set list a little, drop some tunes and put some new tunes in. Is it going to be hard to come up with a set list where you're playing, stuff off of both CDs?
So for the past, handful of shows, it's been, we'll play 5 new songs and then maybe 1 or 2 from Iron Age. So I think, I don't know, we like to mix it up though. So, we might do a show that's more Iron Age or more Raise the Guys, or we'll start having new material as soon as this one drops too. So we're gonna keep right on it and keep doing new stuff.
And so I imagine this stuff was all recorded in your hometown of Kansas.
Yep, over at Chaotic Studios in Lenexa, Kansas.
And so are you guys like a lot of working musicians? Do you have the other like day jobs to help pay the bills, or is this what you do full time?
Oh, I wish.
Yeah.
It doesn't quite pay the bills, but we do this for us more than anything.
And so what's that like? Having a regular. Yeah. That must be kind of fun. You guys have a regular kind of everyday 9-to-5 job, and then on the weekends and in the evenings you get to go do this. That must be kind of a different great way to get your angst out, so to speak.
Yeah, it keeps us busy.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
And
I'd much rather just do the band, of course, but
yeah.
That's how it is.
That's real life. You got to pay the bills, but the great thing about this is you especially talking about the band, you got an opportunity to kind of live out your rock and roll dream, whatever you want to say about kind of get your music to the masses. That's a great, not everybody can live out their dreams, so to speak.
Yeah, we're kind of like superheroes. We're like Clark Kent.
Yeah. And so I was going to ask you, as far as these songs, is this all material that's like newly written, or did you have any material left over from the last recording session that made onto this album?
It's all new material. We actually have one song from this recording session that we might put on hold until our next thing. Only because the album was about an hour in length, and this extra song was like another 7 minutes. So
Yeah.
we kind of wanted to cut down a little bit. But we've got some basic tracks left over for a song.
And
all this stuff was pretty new.
And as far as that goes, I was curious, is the attitude there kind of like, well, if the song wasn't good enough, like maybe to make it onto the first, the album the last time, maybe it's time to write something fresh and new? Or do you ever like to go back and revisit anything?
Very seldomly will we have like a riff or two from an old song we don't play anymore, and we'll kind of, maybe structure something new about it. But generally, I mean, the only songs that we have written that we haven't recorded were 4 or 5 songs that they wrote before I was in the band. So they had with their old singer and old drummer, and we've talked about maybe reviving some of those riffs or some of those ideas, but I think we've developed a lot as songwriters and musicians, so that we don't really need to go back to that stuff so much.
And
so we can always progress and do something better.
Yeah, and I was curious, like, do you guys, like a lot of bands, like is there a Vanlade vault of unreleased material where, when you guys go in the recording studio, you have maybe working tapes of demos and stuff that you leave laying, that you hold on to?
Nothing really like that. No, not yet. But
yeah.
I mean, we've discussed things like that, like maybe keeping a B-side or a hidden track or something. We did have a hidden track on Iron Age, which is kind of.
Oh, that's a cool thing. The reason I was asking, a lot of these bands that I grew up on, like talking about Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, and Kiss, back in the day, they used to bootleg a lot of his stuff, and they have a lot of these bands. They have great unreleased material. They've never even seen the light of day, and now with the internet and stuff, they're starting to pop up. So I just think it's a cool little thing when bands, have some of this hidden material they haven't released yet.
Yeah, we've got a couple demos from, like, there was, I think, 2 demos they did before I was in the band, and then one, which was the first thing I recorded with the band, that have kind of, they've been released on a very, very small scale, just kind of hand copies, but I don't know, maybe someday that stuff will see the light of day again.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And now, Brett, you're mentioning there's another singer in the band before you, so I was curious,